Hey guys, it's Chris Singh here back from CNH Smallage again. I'm making a follow-up video for cleaning out your surplus rifle, such as a Mosin-Nagant, SKS, AK, whatever you have out there that's a surplus rifle for the 7.62 by 39 or 54R variation. Whenever you buy a gun online and you first take it home, sometimes your gun may be packed with cosmoline, dirt, debris, whatever out there, because most of those guns are put into long-term storage for purposes for like storage and anything else for any type of war breaking out. Basically, whenever you get it from your vendor, whether it be Gun Broker or some other online vendor that sells your firearms, and you go pick up your FFL guy and you take it home and you check it out, the first thing it would be to basically strip down the gun, do a field strip, take the stock apart, and take the receiver out of the gun, and just check for all the functionality and parts and make sure all the parts are okay and not rusted up and anything else, and do a thorough cleaning of all mentioned parts. The last part is another functionality thing. Basically, any gun that you get that's a surplus rifle will most definitely, I say 99%, unless it was cleaned up prior to your purchase, will have cosmoline in the receiver and the bore, the chamber, sometimes even down inside the barrel. And it's a good idea to thoroughly clean out the chamber and the barrel and the neck area where the bullet actually goes up inside. And basically in front of me here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 different cleaning things I use on my guns whenever I purchased them in the past. Basically, what you do is normally you would soak each one of these cleaners in some type of cleaning solution you have for your guns, whether it be Hoppy's number 9 or semi-auto cleaner out there, and basically do a thorough cleaning of the chamber and the bore and overall the breech of the gun on or for that. Basically, whenever I bought my Mosin-Nagants and my SKSs and AKs, I always did a thorough cleaning, and I always did the bore and the chamber cleaning last, because it might have took me half an hour to do it properly. And I always had like brake cleaner, some type of parts, carb cleaner, stuff like that out there to do it properly. And basically, whenever you want to clean them out, you want to have your basically chamber area completely cleaned up, because whenever your bullet is sitting up inside the chamber and right before it goes up in the rifling, you have your tapered part where the bullet sits right here, and you have your neck right here as well too, plus the flat part right above the neck on here. If that's not completely cleaned up thoroughly, you can have a little bit of that gum left from the cosmoline sitting up inside there, so whenever you shoot your gun, it may heat that cosmoline up and it may get gooey and sticky up in there. Then once the gun cools back down, it may form like a hard resin type of surface inside there for that. And that's why I always recommend cleaning the gun out completely and thoroughly before you test fire it, so you don't have all that problem there, because it can cause like a sticky bolt syndrome on your Mosin-Nagant, or if you have an SKS or an AK, it can cause problems firing your gun out there for it as well too. Mainly, it's mainly meant for bolt action guns, where Mosin-Nagants, they tend to have like sticky bolt syndrome, some of them either, if the chamber isn't completely clean of all debris and contaminants in there. So basically what you would do would be to, the first step would be to get one of your brushes like this. I got, let me see here, I got a 12 gauge. I got a, let me see, another 12 gauge right here, longer one. I got another, there's a 20 right here, might be, let me see, that's a 20, yeah. And a 45, I believe that's 45. Then the last one I use is the Hoppy's spiral. They call it the Tornado for the actual rifling, and they're for that. So basically, what you do is you go from the 20, or no, you just, let me see here. You go from the 12. Sorry about that. You go from the 12 down to the 20. Then once you get that the chamber all cleaned up in there, the next step is to do the 45 caliber one. That will basically act as cleaning up your neck area for the chamber in there, so it's nice and clean up where your gun, or I should say your bullet, fits up in your bullet fits up inside there. So this whole area where your neck goes right here, it'll basically be cleaned out with that one specific one right there, where your like 20 and your 12 gauge will fit back in your back, where your casing actually fits almost back to where the bolt locks up for it as well too. So you want to do like a two-stage clean. You do the first one with the plain big one, jam it up inside her and spin it over about 50 to 100 times. Take it out and blow it out with some brake cleaner. Do it again with some parts cleaner, and do that repeatedly for about 5 or 6 times in there. Then the last step would be to do the chamber clean, the higher end chamber clean. Just get that whole neck area right here where it seals with a bullet itself, 1 or 4 of that. Then after that's done, blow it out with some compressed air. Then do the last one as well too with this the tornado brush, or it's a Hoppe's tornado bristle one on here as well too. Just run that up and down the rifling a few times. Flush it out with some brake cleaner again. Then just hit with the air gun a couple times. Just make sure it's completely clean. Then the last step I would recommend would be to dump some hot water down the barrel as a preventive maintenance. It's basically it'll heat up any cosmoline that's still in there. Basically, I recommend using scalding hot water. Just get your regular like a rubber hose, attach it to your faucet, turn up on really hot water, then just run it down inside the breech area, and that may loosen up some of the if there's any little bit left of the cosmoline still stuck up inside there. It'll basically heat it up. Then the last step would be to spray one of these wire brushes with some Windex window cleaner, and because most windows cleaners, they have like chemicals in there that clean up the windows relatively good, so they have chemicals that'll get off oil, dirt, debris, and stuff like that. Just take one of these brushes up there and spin it around about 30 or 40 times, and just blow it out again with the air gun. Then get the brake cleaner, blow it out again with that. So then that'll be the last resort right there for that. So that should basically take maybe about a half an hour to an hour to do the whole start to finish. If you don't want to do it spinning these things manually by yourself on a cleaning rod, you can hook it up to one of your drills and just spin it on high for about 5 minutes to do a real quickie cleaning of it as well too, up in the chamber and the neck area right here as well too. Because sometimes, if like I said before, you have cosmoline still up inside here, your bolt might not want to lock up properly, or if there's too much stuff, your bolt might not lock up properly, and your bullet might not be completely seated up in here as well too, and that can cause problems as well. Like it might not want to extract out of there, and sometimes if it's so bad, you have like a small gap, you can have like a little bit of gas blow back along here, or you might have like a split casing, but that usually results if your headspace is off for whatever reason for that as well too. So that's basically a review of how you should clean your gun prior to shooting it at the range, and then the last resort, after you get done thoroughly cleaning it and clean the chamber out, I recommend headspacing your Mosin if you have a Mosin Nagant or some other gun out there, because some of those guns might not have matching bolts, and they may have re-arsenaled them and either replaced the bolt head, the bolt body, the firing pin, the extractor, and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to headspace it after you get done thoroughly cleaning it, because that's another reason why you should thoroughly clean it, because if there's cosmoline still stuck up inside there, your headspace gauge won't read properly. It has to be completely clean up inside the chamber area, so whenever you put your headspace gauge up in there, it'll either lock okay or it won't lock, because you don't want any type of debris in the way for that. So that's another good thing to know right there too. So then after you headspace it, take it to your range, and I recommend putting some quality ammunition through the gun first before you start shooting surplus ammunition if it passes the headspace gauge, okay, so you know it ain't going to shoot with any problem, because sometimes surplus ammunition like this, they basically load it up almost to the red line. Basically, some of that ammunition is meant for like machine gun ammunition and stuff like that. So they may have different amounts of powder they stick in it. So one cartridge might shoot quite well. Other one might be a little less. Where like the third one might have like 2 or 3 times a kick, because that happened to my brother-in-law. I loaned him one of my Mosin Nagants, and I gave him some of my ammunition, and he shot about 5 rounds through it. In the third one, it had a heck of a kick to the third bullet right there for that, because I guess they loaded up with some extra powder in there for that, because they don't really have a fine way of adding the exact amount whenever you're mass producing a cartridge out there for that, especially surplus ammunition. It's not like where it's hand loading yourself, and you can basically fine tune the exact amount of power coming out of the other end for that. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot, you can always email me here, or you can call me if you want to as well too, or just leave a voicemail on my machine, or as always, just leave a message on my YouTube page here, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as humanly possible, guys. I'll see you.